Today, boys and girls, we're gonna learn all about digestion. What happens to your body when you put food inside, and what happens to it once it's inside. That's called digestion.
Meet Will. Will is an active 14-year-old. His hobbies include hanging out with his friends, playing sports, and playing video games. Like most teenagers, his favorite thing to do is eat. Today, he is beginning his day with a bowl of cereal and milk. Digestion refers to the mechanical and chemical breakdown of foods so that nutrients can be absorbed by cells. The digestive system consists of the alimentary canal leading from mouth to anus and several accessory organs whose secretions aid the process of digestion. The mouth is the first portion of the alimentary canal. It functions to receive food and begin mechanical digestion by mastication. The lips are sensitive to help judge the temperature and texture of food. The tongue is a thick muscular organ covered by a mucous membrane with taste buds within the papillae. The soft palate and uvula function to close off the nasal cavity during swallowing. Associated with the palate in the back of the mouth are palatine tonsils, which, because they are lymphatic tissues, help protect the body against infection. Through these actions of chewing, teeth break food into smaller pieces, beginning mechanical digestion. The salivary gland secretes saliva, which moistens and dissolves food particles and begins carbohydrate digestion.
Swallowing reflexes can be divided into 3 stages. Food is mixed with saliva, forming a bolus, and voluntarily forced into the oropharynx with the tongue. Sensory receptors in the pharynx sense food, which triggers swallowing reflex. Hyoid bone and larynx elevate and the epiglottis closes off the larynx. Tongue presses against the soft palate to seal off the oral cavity from the nasopharynx. Pharyngeal muscles contract, pulling the pharynx upward. Muscles of the laryngopharynx relax, opening the top sphincter of the esophagus. Peristaltic waves begin in the pharynx toward the esophagus. In the 3rd stage of swallowing, peristalsis transports the food in the esophagus to the stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped muscular organ in the upper left abdominal quadrant. It receives and mixes food with digestive juices and propels food to the small intestine. Rugae or gastric folds of the mucosa and submucosa allow for distension. Gastric glands within the mucosa of the stomach open as gastric pits. Together, products of the mucous cells, chief cells, and parietal cells form gastric juice. Gastric secretions are enhanced by parasympathetic impulses, release of ACH, and the hormone gastrin, which is released from gastric glands. As more food enters the small intestine, secretion of gastric juice from the stomach wall is inhibited by sympathetic impulses. The stomach absorbs only small quantities of water and certain salts, alcohol, and some lipid-soluble drugs. Following a meal, mixing actions of the stomach turn the food into chyme and pass it toward the pyloric region using peristaltic waves. As chyme fills the duodenum, accessory organs, the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder, add their secretions. Pancreatic enzymes include pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase, which breaks 2 nucleases, trypsin, chymotrypsin, and carboxypeptidase. The reddish-brown liver, located in the upper right quadrant of the abdominal cavity, is the body's largest internal organ.
The liver is responsible for many metabolic activities, such as the metabolism of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. The liver also functions to filter the blood, removing damaged red blood cells, foreign substances, and toxins. Its main role in digestion is to secrete bile. Bile is a yellowish-green liquid that hepatic cells secrete. It includes water, bile salts, bile pigments, cholesterol, and electrolytes. The gallbladder is a pear-shaped sac lying on the interior surface of the liver. It is connected to the cystic duct, which joins the hepatic duct. These two merge to form the common bile duct leading to the duodenum. Bile salts emulsify fats into smaller droplets and aid in the absorption of fatty acids, cholesterols, and fat-soluble vitamins. After receiving secretions from the pancreas and the liver, the lengthy small intestines complete digestion of nutrients in the chyme, absorbs the products of digestion, and transports the remaining residue to the large intestines. The large intestines absorbs water and electrolytes, along with forms and stores feces. The movement of the large intestines are similar to those of the small intestines with no segmentation. Peristaltic waves happen only 2 or 3 times during the day. Defecation is stimulated by a defecation reflex that forces feces into the rectum where they can be expelled. Feces are composed of undigested material, water, electrolytes, mucus, shed intestinal cells, and bacteria. Both the color of the feces and its odor is due to the action of the bacteria. As a growing boy, it's essential for Will to have an adequate diet, which will provide sufficient energy as well as an adequate supply of essential nutrients, which are those that cannot be synthesized by the human cell. These will support growth, repair, and maintenance of tissues.
Stage of digestion. This is the final stage of digestion. I'm hungry.